The first feature on my list of top 5 things that make the Mi 11 from Xiaomi a great smartphone is of course the display. This OLED Quad HD 1440p 120Hz panel makes media consumption particularly memorable. Its substantially thin bezel design provides an almost edge-to-edge viewing experience. Overall, the color accuracy and crisp detail which emits from the display is not only realistic but also generously vibrant. This is most influenced by the 1500 nits of peak brightness that the Mi 11 is capable of producing. These attributes allow for viewing angles that are very practical, as videos do not get very obscured by natural glare, particularly when using outdoors. My biggest concern, not only with this phone, but all devices that have a curved edge design screen, is accidental touches and poor ergonomical designs. However, the Xiaomi Mi 11 gave me no issues when interacting with its display, and I noticed that my fingers would very rarely get in the way of what I'm watching, and I think that's because of the well thought out limitation on the side curves. Therefore, I can confidently say this display ranks at least in the top 2 of all the other phones I've tested overall. The only closest contender is the Samsung Galaxy S21. Next thing that makes this a great smartphone is a feature that normally fails to feature very high, if at all, on many people's top features list. But the Harman Kardon dual stereo speakers produces the best, and I mean the best sound I've heard from any smartphone. So credit where it's due, Xiaomi made a sound choice, excuse the pun, when deciding to collaborate with a well-experienced speaker company. And the most refreshing thing about this collab is, by the sound of things, it seems that Harman Kardon have been allowed to actually stamp their expertise into these speakers. To my pleasant surprise, during my testing, I found that the top firing speaker produces even greater volume than the bottom firing one. This is not a norm, but I welcome it, as when listening to something with the phone facing up, the listening experience is better optimized. The overall sound from these speakers is rich and very full, specifically in the higher end, although it does not reduce much when in the lower end of the volume. The third thing that makes this a great smartphone is the photo taking experience. Yes, you heard right. Not the camera as a whole, but the still shots that come out of this 108 megapixel capable sensor on the rear. They really impressed me. Colors were vibrant but not oversaturated. The details in the images were substantially high, and the best thing about the images was that the post-processing on the Mi 11 produces photos that are considerably accurate to life. For a Xiaomi phone, this part of the camera is a definite upgrade from what I've tested in the past. Additionally, to clear up any possible confusion, the reason why I did not say the camera as a whole deserves to be on this list is due to the video recording performance, which is surprisingly weak. But I'll perhaps make a video covering that later, so comment below if you guys think you'd be interested in a camera focused video regarding the Xiaomi Mi 11. Also, whilst you're at it, consider subscribing to the Tech Moments channel for more tech content like this. Going back to the list of things that make the Mi 11 a great smartphone is number 4, the design. This phone has very little compromises in this area. It's light and thin, has Gorilla Glass 5 on the rear, and one of the finest variants of Gorilla Glass at the front, of course, is Gorilla Glass Victus. So this device should not shatter as easily as some of its competitors. The entire left of the phone is empty, giving a aesthetically clean finish. The previously mentioned thin bezels and curved edges add to the finesse in which Xiaomi designed this phone with. It's smart but not boring, and this is a challenging balance to achieve, especially when most phones in this price category look quite generic. Another standout feature on the Mi 11 has got to be the distinctive camera setup on the back. There's hardly much of a hump, and the very purposely placed silver ring around the main sensor gives this part of the phone a premium look. The word prints are very well thought out too, and they're not too big. However, they add an element of boldness to the overall look on this phone. The fifth and final feature which makes this a great smartphone is its haptic feedback, and this is very specific to this phone as it caught me off guard. Firstly, I noticed it, which gives me the impression that it's particularly pleasant. Also, many haptic motors that are responsible for this element on a modern phone tend to be the same, or at the very least similar, in the way that they feel and respond. This of course differs depending on a smartphone's price category, which to me indicates that Xiaomi have fine-tuned the haptic feedback on the Mi 11, as other Android phones I've tried around this price range have good but not outstanding feedback when performing tasks like typing or tapping. Remember though, this is based on my personal opinion. In fact, most of the things I've gone through on this list are of course around my feelings on the Mi 11 after using it. As for the display, I think that's the only thing on this list that I am confident most tech reviewers on YouTube will unanimously agree with me on. So what's your thoughts on that and the features I've gone through in this video? Leave a comment below to discuss this further. Also, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up on this video as it would help this video reach more people on YouTube. So that's from me and that's from this video. I'll see you guys in the next tech moment.